ಸಾಕ್ಷಂ 2025 ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತ ಮತ್ತು ಸುಸ್ಥಿರ ಆತಿಥ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂವಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲಾನ್ಪ್ರೋ ಮುನ್ನುಡಿ. ಒಂದು ದಿನದ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಧಾರಿತ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ 100ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವೃತ್ತಿಪರರು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದರು. ಆತಿಥ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ನೈಜ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಚರಣಾ ಸವಾಲುಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ. ಶೆಫ್ಸ್, ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಆಹಾರ ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳ ಸಕ್ರಿಯ ಭಾಗವಹಣೆ. ಭಾರತದ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಶೀತಕರಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಾದ ಎಲಾನ್ಪ್ರೋ ಇಂದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕ್ಷಂ ಎಂಬ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಧಾರಿತ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನವನ್ನು ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿತು. ಆತಿಥ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆ, ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಮತ್ತು ದೀರ್ಘಕಾಲೀನ ಕಾರ್ಯಪದ್ಧತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಬಲಪಡಿಸುವ ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ರೂಪಿಸಲಾಯಿತು. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಎಫ್ಎಸ್ಎಸ್ಎಐ ಮಾಜಿ ಸಿಇಒ ಶ್ರೀ ಪವನ್ ಅಗರ್ವಾಲ್, ಕಾಫಿ ಡೇ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಚೈನ್ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಬಿ, ಬೃಹತ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಶ್ರೀ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಹೊಳ್ಳ, ಎಂಎಸ್ ರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲಾನ್ಪ್ರೋ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಾಪಕ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕ ಶ್ರೀ ರಂಜನ್ ಜೈನ್ ಅವರ ಸಾನ್ನಿಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಉದ್ಘಾಟಿಸಲಾಯಿತು. ಈ ಉಪಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಫೋರಂ (HCF) ಸಹಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸಾಕ್ಷಂ ಒಂದು ದಿನದ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಧಾರಿತ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಾಗಿದ್ದು, ಶೆಫ್ಸ್, ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಗಳು, ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ ನಿರ್ವಾಹಕರು, ಆಹಾರ ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳು, ಆಹಾರ ನಿರ್ವಹಣಾ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಹೊಸ ತಲೆಮಾರಿನ F&B ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆ, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ಷಮತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸಲು ಸಹಾಯಕವಾಗುವ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಿತು.
I am from Elanpro. Elanpro is India's leading refrigeration company. We focus on 3 segments or sectors. We take care of the hospitality segment, we work with the retail, and we also work with the medical life science departments. We have been in India for 16 years and we work with all the leading brands, whether it is hotel industry or QSR chain or the retail chain across India. We have our setup. We are catering to all the 850 districts which are there around of that across the country. So we provide all sales and service support to each one of them. So Elanpro stands out for 2 reasons. One is we believe in quality. So I'll not say that others don't give quality, but we believe that quality has to be top notch, because when we are talking about food, we're talking about compliance, we are talking about safety. Because unlike air conditioning, where it is more about comfort, food is more about your safety and quality. So here the temperature management has to be perfect. So we have all our equipment designed in a way that they are capable to work in the Indian condition, and they maintain right temperature, and also they are the lowest in power consumption, because that's another thing which is very critical, because all of our refrigeration equipments are never shut off. They work 24/7, 365 days. So energy consumption becomes a very major role. So that's how Elanpro is very different. The other thing is we believe in innovation. So we are always introducing products which are ahead of time. So for example, on the refrigeration, we have introduced products which work on inverter technology. We have even simple thing like chest freezer which have dual condenser, because now you must be realizing that every year the ambient conditions are changing. It's becoming hotter day by day. So you need to have product which can work efficiently even at 45 degree, 47 degree. So these are the critical thing which keeps us apart from the industry. Contamination could be for many reasons. I'll talk about what is relevant in our context. If a product is not maintained at a perfect temperature, for example, there is a myth, anything which is kept inside a freezer can have a long life. It is incorrect. So there is something called a safe temperature zone, and there is something called when you have a bacteria formation. So if your product is not kept away, so if it is between 55 to 60 degree, the chances of bacterial growth is maximum. So if you have to have a long-term storage, you need to pull it down faster. So that is one reason. The other is how you keep your product inside, whether it is covered, not covered, whether you are mixing your product, say for example you are keeping non-veg food or a meat with a milk product. It may be in the same refrigerator. So there could be chances of contamination. Then you can have your vegetables, greeny leaf and all. Or if you have a product where you have a lot of moisture inside, So those could be the reason. So when you are storing food in a refrigerator, you need to ensure that they are safely packed and there is a shelf life for everything. So there are certain products which can be maintained at 4 degree for certain time. There are certain products which can be maintained at -20 for maybe 6 months. So it is not that anything you just put inside a refrigerator can have endless life, which is a myth. So those are the reasons which I'll relate to refrigeration. Balance contamination is a very, very big subject in food.
What is the duration timeline?
Every single product, that is what makes refrigeration very difficult and a different subject. Milk can be stored for certain period. Your jam and jelly or your sauces or your processed food can be maintained for a longer. So there are two things. One is the food in itself. The other is how you have processed it. If you have processed it where you have maintained the temperature at -20 or lower and then kept it, it can have a longer shelf life. But if you just take a fresh food and put it in a freezer and expect that it will have a longer shelf life, no, it will not have a longer shelf life. So it's a complete food science which one has to look at, and that's how it has to be maintained. Thank you.
Are relating to hygiene issues in the hospitality sector, in the restaurant sector. And these issues really do not go away. Despite, I think, number of inspectors or food safety officers across the state and center has increased, our regulations have matured, we have instituted many other systems to ensure this, but those concerns do not go away. And last year, I think, it was a very unusual year. Back to back, there were 2-3 major food safety incidents that were reported in the media that completely, in some sense, eroded faith in the hospitality sector. People were worried कि यार बाहर restaurant पे जाएंगे नहीं जाएंगे. अच्छा, and when some well-known restaurants and hotels, these concerns arise from them, so there is a complete erosion of faith and trust in eating out, which does not obviously augur well for the hospitality sector. And I think in the context of these developments, we started thinking that what is it we can do is, we means in my new role under the Food Future Foundation, I keep writing on issues of food, nutrition, food systems in the media. And I remember that time I wrote an article that how do we create a food safety culture in the country going beyond compliance requirements. And we studied a little bit that concept of food safety culture. So the word that we are using here today is actually a fairly accepted term globally. So there is a definition to it. So it's not a loosely word, English word that is used by the industry. There are some connotations when you are using the word food safety culture. And in simplest terms, it is that food safety culture is that you maintain hygiene and safety even though no inspector is looking at you. So that is the simplest way. How do we ensure? Because maintaining hygiene is a very boring thing. Or maintaining or any routine is very boring. So routines are very boring. And